amateurs. Let the pros show you how to make money. General Manager Al DeMarco, a regular contributor on Fox Sports, MSNBC, and Comcast Sports TV, brings over 25 years of handicapping experience to the table. CEO Steve Budin, the author of Bets, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, is the man responsible for creating the online betting industry. Together, they lead the world's largest online sports handicapping community, your #1 source for winners.
First Sunday of the NFL season, plenty of money to be made, but only if you bet wisely. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here along with Steve Budin, and this, again, is the Countdown to Kickoff program, the only nationally televised show where every single NFL game is broke down from a point spread perspective. I've been a professional sports handicapper for over 25 years, but before then, I spent 8 years as a reporter. So I used the experience I gained covering teams, being on the field, in the locker room, around players, coaches, managers. That all factors into how I analyze games. Steve Budin, of course, other side of the fence, literally former bookmaker, the son of a bookmaker, and this is the guy who created what you now know as the offshore sports betting industry. So you have a totally different take of the games that we're going to break them down today.
Right, so what you do, Al, is what most handicappers do. They utilize their opinion. Now, yours is better than most, but what I do is nothing like that. I use my sources. These are syndicates and betting crews that I have access to that no one else has access to. One of those crews, the Baltimore Crew, we're going to go to them early. Their name for me is synonymous with winning. Their name for me is synonymous with the NFL. They're coming out with a 50-dime play. It's a big play to start the year, and how great is it to finally be able to look at your wife and say, sorry, honey, no going to the mall today. Football's back. Sorry, honey, can't watch the kids today. Thank God Almighty, football is back.
And in Steve's case, that means his wife is going to the mall ASAP anyway because she doesn't want to be around them. But listen, we're going to get right to it. In a couple minutes, we're going to have Tracy Adams, another veteran handicapper who's been with us for over 20 years, one of the best in the business, joining us via video conference to break down some of his key free selections as he does every single week. First game on the docket, though, Chicago and Indianapolis. Last year, the Bears were rolling 7-3. They had won 5 straight games. Cutler gets hurt. Forte gets hurt. The season destructs. This season, playing in what I think is the best division in football with the Packers and the Lions, these 3 teams are going to beat each other up, but I think the Bears have a great shot at getting into the playoffs. I think Lovie Smith has a championship contender here, and I think that this number is just a joke at 9.5, 10 points. And Steve, I know the one thing that I've always found, week 1 of the season is you play the favorites. More often than not, they're going to come in because, listen, guys, the odds makers are clueless. They know no more about these games and what to expect because preseason is worthless than you or I, so you have value. If this was a week 4 game, Chicago was laying 13 points at home. Week 1 game, 9.5, 10. I love the Bears.
Well, this is a season filled with high expectations for rookie quarterbacks. We look at Andrew Luck, and he's had a great preseason, like what he did against the Steelers, went down twice for a touchdown against their first-string defense. But let me tell you something. There's a difference between the defense that you see in the preseason and when Lovie Smith brings his veteran club and all the different ways that he hides his blitzing. That's going to spell trouble for Luck. I'm with you. I like Chicago here as well.
And listen, you got a Colts team, yes, they have Luck, but they have huge turnover. 30 new players on the 53-man roster from a year ago. And the problem with with Indianapolis is they're not going to be able to run the ball, and they're not going to be able to pressure opposing quarterbacks and also stop opposing ground games. Luck is going to be in a lot of 3rd and longs, and that's going to be the key for Julius Peppers and everybody just to come and unload on them. I think it's a double-digit blowout, one of the easiest games on the board.
I agree.
New Orleans and Washington, finally, the Saints get to move slightly past Bounty Gate, slightly past the suspensions of Sean Payton, etc. Focus on a game. Here, I think you're getting tremendous value again with the home favorite, again because of the rookie quarterback scenario you just brought up.
Yeah, I also agree, also because the Saints have had a bad offseason, let's face it. Bounty Gate, they lost their head coach, but to me, sometimes this motivates a club to play actually better. When you get a team like the Saints that are good to start with, then you give them a little chip on their shoulder, you can expect big things from them. Drew Brees, obviously, coming back. He's an elite quarterback. I like New Orleans here, too.
And don't get me wrong, I like RG3 a lot, but let's face it, Drew Brees, RG3, first game, NFL debut, on the road.
Tough task.
Superdome, loud place to play, even if you're a veteran quarterback. And keep in mind, Saints last year at home, regular and postseason combined, 9-0 straight up and against the spread. Average winning margin, 42-19. I think you're going to see a repeat performance of that type of score.
How many times do you think you're going to be able to lay less than double digits with the Saints this year? Not that many times.
No, so you have to jump on them early. New England and Tennessee, one of the tougher games, I think, on the board here because you just don't know what you're getting with the Titans. Going with Jake Locker instead of Matt Hasselbeck, I think that's a smart move. You got Chris Johnson, who last year was so ineffective after the big year 2 seasons ago. Last year held out. This year in training camp, had a good preseason. This Patriots team we saw in the Super Bowl couldn't stop the run, couldn't put pressure on Eli Manning. They've got to be able to put some pressure on Jake Locker making his first NFL start. We know what we're going to get with the Patriots. They've won 8 consecutive openers straight up. Tom Brady is 28-13 ATS as a road favorite. But 5.5, 6 points, Steve, I'm telling you, this is one of those games that just says back off.
Yeah, well, you're watching the Patriots now for the last 3 years, and I don't think if you're going to all of a sudden expect their defense to show up. They're going to do what they continue to do year in and year out, and that's try to outscore their opponents. That's why the over always looks so good with them. One thing you need to do week 1 is keep it simple. Don't try to overanalyze everything. I like the over here with New England. That seems to be a lock.
Well, the Patriots have gone over in 28 of their last 38 games as well coming into this contest. So, I mean, I can see certainly a lot of points being scored for the Patriots. I don't know if I agree with you, though, because I just don't know if Tennessee is going to be able to put points on the board to make this an overplay. Minnesota-Jacksonville, the great unknown with the Vikings. You just don't know what you're going to get here. I mean, listen, you got Adrian Peterson. Is he going to play? Is he going to be healthy? How is he going to be effective or not? Coming off the knee surgery for Jacksonville, you've got a second-year quarterback in Blaine Gabbert, who was nothing to brag about in his rookie season. You got Maurice Jones-Drew coming in after the holdout. You don't know what he's going to do. A dog of a game, especially when you consider Minnesota was 3-13 last year.
No, I agree. At the end of the day, I mean, Adrian Peterson, knee injury, comes back. He may play great, may not play that well. Maurice Jones-Drew, I mean, obviously, he's a much better running back, but he held out. So is he ready to go? I have no idea. This is a game that, you know, it's so hard to pick because you have 2 teams that you really don't care about. They're really not going to be there anytime at the end of the season. So, you know, I'm going to pass on this game. I mean, on the side, I like under because, to me, these teams can't score.
Interesting. Okay, under. Hey, guys, listen, I want to tell you, you can save $20 off a single purchase today by using this coupon code when prompted in your shopping cart. And it's a real easy one, guys, as I make sure I give you the right code. It is 20OPEN, 20OPEN, no space between the number or the word, 20OPEN. Enter it when prompted in your shopping cart. You'll save $20 off a single purchase today. We're going to take a quick break and back with Tracy Adams. One thing about gambling, guys, everybody says put your money where your mouth is. Well, that's what we do at PickNation.com with the 1-day free all-access pass.
This is the greatest thing we have. It's what separates us from all the other companies. I mean, you may be out there, you may be on the fence, you may have never bought a pick from a handicapper before. This is the perfect opportunity to come in and see everything that we have absolutely free before you make that decision to reach your hand into your wallet.
And guys, we're talking about 10, 11 handicappers, every single one of their plays today, absolutely free. If you had bought those handicappers individually, you'd easily be spending $500, $600, maybe even $700. But you're going to get them all for free thanks to the all-access pass.
And there's a reason, let's face it, that no other company does this. They don't want you to see what they do. They don't want you to see their bag of tricks. Here, we have no bag of tricks. Everything is absolutely transparent, and you'll find out what a lot of players find out is once they get the free all-access pass, they like to continue to come back and get that all-access pass so they can get everybody's opinion for one low price.
Right, because the all-access pass has a daily option, it has a weekly option, it has a monthly option, which again gets you all the handicappers for pennies on the dollar. But what we're talking about right now is a 1-day free all-access pass. And when we say free, we mean free. This isn't like one of those 800 scam-decapper numbers where they tell you something's absolutely free and then they ask you to take out your wallet and pay thousands of dollars. We're talking about free as in free. 1-day free trial. Get all the handicappers, all of their plays, because the plays you see at the site, there's nothing more. There's nothing better. What you see is what you get.
Right, and put the onus on yourself. You read all of our opinions, and then you can make the decision which is the best one.
Once again, guys, the 1-day all-access pass, absolutely free. All you got to do, come to the site, press the button. You'll be up and running within 60 seconds. It's the best deal in this business.
100%.
How would you like a shot at winning $300 of my money? No, guys, I'm not kidding around. DraftStreet.com. Fantasy football players, you know the deal. Every single week this NFL season, we're running a special free entry contest with $300 of my money at stake. I'm playing, you're playing against me, I'm playing against all of you out there. Free entry. You know the deal with DraftStreet.com. You're drafting a couple of quarterbacks, a couple of running backs, a couple of wide receivers. The top 15 finishers every single week. Well, you get a shot at my $300. The top 15 finish in the money. Now, last year, guys, I finished in the money only one time the entire NFL season. But that doesn't mean this isn't my year. I love fantasy football. This is your chance to battle me, one-on-one, and yourselves out there. $300 at stake of my money, free entry, top 15, finish in the money every single week. All you got to do, click on the DraftStreet.com ads here on the site. Welcome back, everyone, to the Countdown to Kickoff show, the only nationally televised show to break down all your NFL games from a point spread perspective. Al DeMarco along with Steve Budin. Before we go to Trace Adams, just want to remind you guys, you know, I talked earlier about my credentials and what I've done over the years as a handicapper. I come into this season having won 9 of the last 10 seasons. I think I'd get my damn record right? And today I've got my opening game of the year, number 12 out of 15. Yes, I've won it 11 of the last 14 years. And for Steve, talked earlier how he relies on his crews, his sources, the syndicate plays to bring you selections. That Baltimore Crew he alluded to at the top of the program, they are 39-19 the last 4 years, making a $10 better over $8,000. They've hit their opening game of the year each of the past 4 seasons, and they're on a 21-8 run with 59 plays. And
not too shabby.
With a 59 play today. So, I mean, you're talking about the #1 crew that he's relied on over the last 4 seasons in the pros. Now, we head down to Atlanta, where Trace Adams is waiting to join us via video conference. How you doing, Trace?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today?
Great. Trace has been a handicapper that I've known for over 25 years and one of the best in the business. He has a daily video report just like I do here online. And Trace, let's get to the first game here on the docket. You want to talk about the Jets and Buffalo. Jets laying 3 points at home against the Bills.
Yes, I do want to talk about that. Give me the Bills plus the points to get the Bills. I know both teams were winless in the preseason, but I also know that I am not putting any trust in this New York Jets offense that scored 1 meaningless touchdown in the preseason. I think Mark Sanchez has spent a little too much time playing around with Eva Longoria, to be quite honest with you. And I know the visitor in this...
Don't be jealous.
What's that?
Don't be jealous.
Well, is that a bad thing?
A little bit jealous. If we're talking Jessica Alba, maybe I'd be jealous. But Eva Longoria, he can have. Anyway, visitor in the series, 8-1 against the spread. Buffalo's the visitor here. Last year, they sprung the upset opening day at Kansas City in the underdog role. I like them, plus the points to come through against the Jets.
Other than his comments about Eva and Jessica Alba, I think he's crazy. I think the Jets are the play. I'm not worried about the fact that the first-team offense was scoreless in the preseason. It's the preseason. It means nothing. And I think with the new offensive coordinator, who used to be the Miami Dolphins head coach, Tony Sparano, they played it very vanilla, very bland during the preseason. Rex Ryan, proving year, they got to come out and they got to kick some you-know-what in week #1.
Well, I've got breaking news when it comes to the Jets. So listen, now we all know that Rex Ryan lost 150 pounds over the offseason, and I thought he was just dieting and exercise, setting a good example for the rest of us. But then he comes out and he says, this is the best Jets team he's ever coached. So it's obvious the man is smoking crack. Now, if you're going to tell me that the Jets are built to beat mediocre teams, and that's why they're going to beat the Bills, well, then you may have a good argument there.
Because mediocrity resides in Buffalo, again, with Chan Gailey as head coach. By the way, the Jets have won 5 straight in the series, covered the last 4. So on we go. We disagree, but we live another day. Next game is going to be Detroit and St. Louis. I got to think you like the Lions or maybe the over in this contest?
Well, actually, this is my over special of the week. You're right on with that. I know the Rams, they have a new head coach in Jeff Fisher. I know he's been pretty offensive in his years in Tennessee. And to boot, 3 of the 4 preseason games the Rams played this year did go over the total. The Lions, indoors, they usually go over. I saw a stat there, 23-12 over with 2 pushes since the 2009 season. And they also went 2-1-1 in the preseason going over. I think we're going to see some offense here. Megatron lighting up the scoreboard, and I like the Lions and the Rams over the total.
I mean, the Lions are on a 23-12-2 overrun in their last 37 games.
Yeah, both quarterbacks should play good here, and neither defense is anything to speak about.
Yeah, and the Rams 2-14, 3-13 against the spread last year. I'll go with you on the over and the Lions as well. Last game you want to talk about is Carolina and Tampa Bay. Year number 2 for Cam Newton. Year number 1 for Greg Schiano, the former Rutgers coach, taking over a Bucs team that collapsed last season.
Yeah, and I'm going to give the nod to year number 2 Cam Newton here. Carolina with the sweep last year, both straight up and against the spread. As you said, Greg Schiano's first year. Tampa Bay comes in riding a 10-game straight-up regular season losing streak. I don't see it happening this week. He may get results, but it's not going to be this week. Give me the Panthers minus the points.
Yeah, I tend to agree with him there. I like Carolina, and although I will say Tampa, I'm not a big fan of Josh Freeman, okay, but they brought in a lot of good parts to surround him with Vincent Jackson, Dallas Clark, and they drafted Doug Martin, who's probably going to be the starting running back this year. I like the parts they're putting around him, at least.
We have to see if they play together as a team. I don't like bad teams. To me, Tampa Bay just feels like a bad team, and you always say never put good money on bad teams.
No, and you don't want to put good money on bad matchups either. And this is one of those games that's just begging you to stay away. Hey, Trace, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you again next week. Remember, Trace Adams every single day at the site has a daily video report just like I do, guys. And remember, no purchase is necessary, no registration is required. When you come to the site, you watch my video report. We have all types of different promotions, too. There's the charity play of the week, because I believe there's some greater good that we can do with gambling, where once a week I give you a top-rated selection of one of the handicappers here at the site, and if they happen to win, then I ask you to go ahead and make a donation to a charity, an organization, an individual of my choice. We have the $5 play of the week special, and today, for example, for Sunday's card, you want to save $20 off a single purchase, guys? All you've got to do is use this coupon code 20OPEN, 20OPEN, and you can save $20 off a single purchase at the site. Doesn't have to be my play or Steve's play. Whatever you want to do, you can save $20 using that coupon code 20OPEN. Listen, when we come back, we're going to kick off the next segment with Atlanta and Kansas City. We're going to get to Philadelphia, Cleveland as well, and we'll catch you right back in just a minute. One thing about gambling, guys, everybody says put your money where your mouth is. Well, that's what we do at PickNation.com with the one-day free all-access pass.
This is the greatest thing we have. It's what separates us from all the other companies. I mean, you may be out there, you may be on the fence, you may have never bought a pick from a handicapper before. This is the perfect opportunity to come in and see everything that we have absolutely free before you make that decision to reach your hand into your wallet.
And guys, we're talking about 10, 11 handicappers, every single one of their plays today, absolutely free. If you had bought those handicappers individually, you'd easily be spending $500, $600, maybe even $700. But you're going to get them all for free thanks to the all-access pass.
And there's a reason, let's face it, that no other company does this. They don't want you to see what they do. They don't want you to see their bag of tricks. Here, we have no bag of tricks. Everything is absolutely transparent, and you'll find out what a lot of players find out is once they get the free all-access pass, they like to continue to come back and get that all-access pass so they can get everybody's opinion for one low price.
Right, because the all-access pass has a daily option, it has a weekly option, it has a monthly option, which again gets you all the handicappers for pennies on the dollar. But what we're talking about right now is a one-day free all-access pass. And when we say free, we mean free. This isn't like one of those 800 scam-decapper numbers where they tell you something's absolutely free and then they ask you to take out your wallet and pay thousands of dollars. We're talking about free as in free. One-day free trial. Get all the handicappers, all of their plays, because the plays you see at the site, there's nothing more. There's nothing better. What you see is what you get.
Right, and put the onus on yourself. You read all of our opinions, and then you can make the decision which is the best one.
Once again, guys, the one-day all-access pass, absolutely free. All you got to do, come to the site, press the button. You'll be up and running within 60 seconds. It's the best deal in this business.
100%.
How would you like a shot at winning $300 of my money? No, guys, I'm not kidding around. DraftStreet.com. Fantasy football players, you know the deal. Every single week this NFL season, we're running a special free entry contest with $300 of my money at stake. I'm playing, you're playing against me, I'm playing against all of you out there. Free entry. You know the deal with DraftStreet.com. You're drafting a couple of quarterbacks, a couple of running backs, a couple of wide receivers. The top 15 finishers every single week. Well, you get a shot at my $300, the top 15 finish in the money. Now, last year, guys, I finished in the money only one time the entire NFL season. but that doesn't mean this isn't my year. I love fantasy football. This is your chance to battle me, one-on-one, and yourselves out there. $300 at stake of my money, free entry, top 15, finishing the money every single week. All you got to do, click on the draftstreet.com ads here on the site. Final segment of this week's Countdown to Kickoff program. Remember, guys, if you missed any portion of the show or if you just want to watch us again, just go to the website and you can watch it in its entirety. First game here in the last segment is going to be Atlanta, Kansas City. I think this is one of the most underpriced favorites on the board. I just don't understand the line. I know Kansas City's been great in openers, blah, blah, blah. But, and I know that the Chiefs, the teams in their games last year at Arrowhead were 8-0 against the spread. The underdogs were 8-0 against the spread in home games for KC last year. But I don't see it. I think Atlanta's clearly the superior team, and I think the Falcons are one of those teams you look for in week one to come out and make a statement because they're coming off a bad season a year ago by their standards.
And they're better at every key position. I think that's the fact here. There's a, you know, when teams are equal, there should be a 3-point advantage to the home team. You know, Atlanta being a 3-point favorite here on the road, it shows you that the odds makers feel that this is almost a touchdown better, this team. I like Atlanta here too. I think KC is nothing.
And listen, I understand that the Chiefs have covered 6 straight as a home dog, etc. They added Peyton Hillis. They got Jamal Charles back. But remember, the Falcons are going to play up-tempo this year. They're going to throw the ball more, de-emphasize the ground game. And with Roddy White and Julio Jones, they've got 2 of the best wide receivers in the game. And I think Matt Ryan's going to have a monster year, and KC doesn't pressure the quarterback enough. Philadelphia and Cleveland, there's another team, Philadelphia. Owner Jeffrey Lurie came out during the preseason. He basically said, no ifs, ands, or buts. 8-8 will not cut it this year if Andy Reid wants to remain coach. Reid's got to win. I think you saw an emphasis a little more than usual for Reid and the Eagles to win during the preseason. I think this is another game, just like the game with RG3, just like the game with Luck with the Colts, where Cleveland, new quarterback Brandon Weeden, underpriced favorite again here.
I agree. You know, like I said earlier, there's a lot of expectations for rookie quarterbacks this year. But Brandon Weeden is not one of those rookie quarterbacks. He's going to face a Philly team here that loves to sack the quarterback. They sacked the quarterback more than any other team last year. They play that wide 9. And I just like saying that, wide 9. They play it, and you know, at the end of the day, Brandon Weeden's going to look like me on my first date. A lot of quick release.
Hey, and you know the interesting thing here, we are making our debut in Philly.com, and we, of course, are airing for the 4th consecutive season, Sports Time Ohio. So we've naturally annoyed and ticked off at least half the football fans watching this particular segment of the show. But listen, the Browns have only covered 2 of their last 12 games at home. And again, I just think that Brandon Weeden made me a lot of money at Oklahoma State. Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate it. But I just don't see it happening here. By the way, FYI, for what it's worth, these two met in the preseason. The Eagles rolled 27-10 and had Weeden under pressure nonstop.
And don't you feel like Philly's on a mission this year?
Yes.
I mean, they really, you know, dilly-dallied last year and took themselves out of the season quickly. They've got to come out here. They've got to come out strong. I think that's what they'll do.
Yeah, I think 17-point win for Philly is on order here. Next game, we're going to take a look at Green Bay, San Francisco, the game that's going to get the most publicity this week. And I've said it many, many times, guys. You know, the marquee games are the toughest games to handicap, toughest games because they have the sharpest numbers. I like to concentrate the most where the odds makers concentrate the least. This game, however, I'll tell you, I don't mind taking the favorite in this one with Green Bay at home, -5. Remember, last year they opened up with that Thursday night 42-34 win over the Saints. Problem with the Packers, they couldn't stop anybody last year. Is this defense going to rebound? Is Cedric Benson going to give the running game a big boost? 49ers defense is tough, but I am still not a believer. I know they had a great year. I'm still not a believer in Alex Smith. I'm not convinced that this team with Randy Moss and Michael Crabtree is going to be able to move the ball down the field effectively enough.
No, I agree. Look, at the end of the day, I've got a big sign right over my cash drawer. It says if you can lay less than 7 with Green Bay at home, you should do it. You're not going to get many opportunities to do that this season.
And the Packers have covered 11 of their last 14 against the spread at Lambeau. So again, you know, and this is a Packers team which wants a little retribution because who, including us, thought that they would lose their postseason opener last year to the Giants at home and then have to suffer and watch the Giants go on and win the Super Bowl.
But also what you said was very important. A lot of times people will gravitate towards the most exciting game on the board and look to bet that game. Just watch that game. Don't bet that game. Find the winner and bet that game.
Hey, before we move on, remember, guys, you can save $20 off a single purchase today at the site. You don't have to buy my play, although you should. Or Steve's Baltimore Crew, because you should.
Definitely.
And I gave you the records earlier, and you can see them on the website. Again, that money-saving discount coupon code is 20OPEN, 20OPEN. Simply enter it in your shopping cart when prompted, and it'll save you $20 off a single purchase today. Make sure you check out my daily videos as well, because every day I've got some type of special promotion. I'd say I feel like Monty Hall, but the younger people in the audience are going to go, Monty.
Who's Monty Hall?
Let's make a deal. Look it up on Wikipedia. Hey, how about Denver and Pittsburgh? This is another one of those games that everybody's going to be watching. I mean, I don't know which one. I'm going to be watching. Packers-Niners or Broncos-Steelers. We know what the deal is. Peyton's debut in the regular season for the Broncos. Ben Roethlisberger comes out in the preseason and says, oh, by the way, I've got that little rotator cuff injury. I'd be more concerned with Ben having his body aching this year because the Steelers' offensive line has not been good. They go and they got a lot of talented rookies. One of them got injured again, out for the season. Can they protect him? Can Denver put enough pressure on him? That's the key. We know what happened, by the way, last year in the playoffs when Tim Tebow upset them as an 8.5-point dog.
And that's why I don't understand this line, because you have to figure that Peyton Manning versus Tim Tebow has got to get you 2 or 3 more touchdowns. And here you are, a virtual pick-em, same game they played last year. Take out Tebow, put in Peyton Manning. Should be a known-brainer. I mean, I don't know if it's a trap or not, but I love Denver here.
I'm with you, too. And listen, guys, the Steelers have only covered 2 times in their last 10 games on the road. They've only covered 1 time in their last 6 outings as an underdog. So it's not like there's any statistical evidence to say, oh, the Steelers are the play in this game. Listen, we have a couple seconds here left in the show. Remember, you can catch the entire show or any portion of it in its entirety even over on the website. It's that easy. Seattle, Arizona, to me, this is the who cares game of the week, number 2, right behind Tampa and Carolina. Russell Wilson against John Skelton. Seattle did win and cover all 4 preseason games. Pete Carroll, since he took over the Seahawks, is 3-1 straight up and against the spread in this series. But I want to play it.
No, if you're going to play it, I think Seattle's the play. I think they're showing me all the promise. I've got all the hope for them. Very hard in the first week to figure out what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, you keep it simple. You lay the points.
I tend to agree with you. Listen, and Russell Wilson, just like Brandon Whedon, another guy who made me a fortune when he played at NC State and Wisconsin. So, I have his poster up in my room. And so I like Russell Wilson in this game, but, I wouldn't bet it. And then the other game is Miami and Houston. Biggest line on the board for a reason. Steve Tannehill, rookie, making his debut for the Dolphins, a Dolphins team that has no wide receivers, very little defense. And you don't think Matt Schaub, after missing the end of last season, just waiting to run up the points?
Houston very healthy at this point compared to last year. I mean, this is obvious. 2 different organizations going in 2 different directions. You either bet Houston here or you pass completely.
And listen, the Texans have covered 10 of their last 12 games. They're on an 8-2 ATS run at home. And they won last year against a better Miami team in South Florida, 23-13. So I like Houston as well in this particular contest. Well, Steve, that'll do it for week number 1. Remember, countdown to kickoff every single week, whether you're watching us on Philly.com, FoxSports.com, DirecTV, Dish Network, Sports Time Ohio, here at the website. We're going to be here every single Sunday breaking down all your games from a point spread perspective. Remember, 20 open saves you $20 off a single purchase today. Al DeMarco for Steve Budin. We'll catch you again next week.